Yes!
You know, I was just thinking about something. Pistols, handguns, sidearms, or let's just say handguns that fire pistol cartridge rounds are present in every shooter game that I've ever played, for the exception of Destiny 1, at least for the first couple of months of the game's life cycle. You see, hand cannons have been present in Destiny 1 from the very beginning, and I'm assuming that from Bungie's perspective, there was no point of Magnum ammunition handguns and pistol ammunition handguns being present in the game at the same time, because hand cannons being primary weapons were apparently supposed to fulfill both of those roles to some extent. However, when the House of Wolves DLC launched in May of 2015, which was 8 months after the release of Destiny 1, the special ammo sidearm weapon type was introduced, the first two being the legendary Vestian Dynasty and the exotic Dreg's Promise. These weapons didn't instantly catch on, but as more sidearms were introduced over the course of years 2 and 3 of Destiny 1, they became one of the go-to weapon types in PvP, especially after the special ammo economy nerf in year 3, which caused everybody to spawn with no special ammo in PvP. Sidearms avoided this because no matter what, you will always spawn with special ammo if you're using a sidearm, and sidearms as a whole became meta from the point that the special ammo economy nerf went live all the way to the end of Destiny 1. However, in year 3 of Destiny 1, the second and final exotic sidearm to be introduced into the game was the Trespasser, and in this video I want to discuss if this weapon would be a worthy contender to return to Destiny 2. So let's go ahead and get it in. So first things first, what was Trespasser and what made it so special? Okay, so like I said before, Trespasser was the second of 2 exotic sidearms released in Destiny 1. Dreg's Promise was released in House of Wolves in March of 2015, and Trespasser was released in Rise of Iron in September of 2016, meaning that there was almost a 1.5 year long time gap between the release of these two weapons. I'm assuming it's because Bungie didn't have any super creative ideas for what an exotic sidearm could do, because Dreg's Promise and Trespasser both fired in 3-round bursts. Also, Trespasser was the signature weapon of an XO hunter known as Shiro 4, who was also introduced as an NPC vendor in the Rise of Iron DLC, but Trespasser was a randomly dropped exotic weapon and wasn't obtained through a quest from Shiro 4, which I still think is a huge missed opportunity. Another fun fact is that Trespasser is heavily inspired by RoboCop's signature Auto 9 handgun, and another missed opportunity is the fact that Bungie didn't implement a twirl animation for when Trespasser was drawn. I'm referring to the one that RoboCop was known for always doing. The Last Word and Ace of Spades both had this animation in some way, and due to the fact that Trespasser is literally based on the Auto 9 pistol, I feel that Trespasser is also deserving of the same thing. But anyways, let's take a look at Trespasser's perks and overall functionality. Its intrinsic perk is known as Be the Danger, and it states that Trespasser fires bursts of bullets with deadly accuracy. You know, I really hate, air quotes, perks like these. I'm referring to perks that serve as a general description of how a weapon functions, as opposed to being present as an actual ability. Yes, Trespasser is a burst sidearm, but it's as clear as day when you fire it. There's no point in describing this in place of what could have been an actual perk. But yeah, Trespasser's first trait perk is known as Relentless Tracker, and it states that kills with this weapon grant an enhanced motion tracker resolution for a short period of time. This perk shares the same name as the exotic perk belonging to the exotic hunter helmet known as Foe Tracer, but these two perks function very differently. Foe Tracer marks enemies on the screen after aiming at them, while Relentless Tracker increases the range that your motion tracker can pick up enemies. In comparison, Relentless Tracker provides the same enhanced radar benefits as the King Scout perk from Top Street Night Stalker, if that helps at all. Trespasser's second trait perk is known as Unrepentant, and it states that reloading this weapon after a kill causes the next burst to be a longer, more powerful super burst. Really simple to explain this one. So Trespasser fires in 3-round bursts, but if you reload it after getting a kill, you will see a 5-second Unrepentant timer on the left side of the screen, and while this timer is active, Trespasser will fire in 6-round bursts instead of 3. I recall Unrepentant being powerful enough to one-burst enemy guardians in Crucible, and this was one of the main reasons why I love this weapon so much. So now that we're a bit more familiar with Trespasser, would this weapon be a good fit for Destiny 2? With confidence, my answer is absolutely yes. In Destiny 2, we have 2 exotic sidearms consisting of Rat King and Devil's Ruin. At the time that this video was going live, we're right around the corner from getting the exotic version of the Traveler's Chosen, but that weapon isn't in the game yet. Rat King is one of the original exotic weapons in Destiny 2, and Devil's Ruin released as a quest weapon in Season of Dawn, which came out an entire 2 years after Destiny 2's release. That's an even bigger time gap between the debut of Dreg's Promise and Trespasser in Destiny 1, so with all due seriousness, we're very overdue for another exotic sidearm. And at the point in time of Destiny 2's lifespan, sidearms have found their way into PvE, which was never a thing in Destiny 1, and I kind of normally find myself using Season of Dawn's Breach Light from time to time, just because of how amazing it feels, and I was able to get 2 amazingly rolled versions of this weapon during the season that it released in. Now if you're one of those people that thinks that Trespasser would be a bit out of place in Destiny 2, simply because of the fact that we already have 3-round burst sidearms of the legendary rarity such as Last Hope, then allow me to inform you of something. In terms of rate of fire cadence, Trespasser is actually more similar to the 2-round burst aggressive frame sidearms than it is to the 3-round burst sidearms. This means that Trespasser shoots slower than the 3-round burst sidearms in Destiny 2, but it hits a little bit harder. And this realization leads me to believe that if Trespasser did return to Destiny 2, I wouldn't be surprised if it was changed to a 2-round burst, since we don't have any 2-round burst exotic sidearms in the game. I'm not saying that Bungie should do this, I'm simply saying that it wouldn't be a surprise to me if they did. I mean, at this day and age, nothing is really outside of the realm of likelihood when you realize that Red Death returned to Destiny 2, but in hand cannon form. So yeah, it's safe to say that anything could happen at this point in time. But one more thing that I should mention is that Trespasser was a special weapon in Destiny 1, since all sidearms were. But since sidearms are primary weapons in Destiny 2, I'm certain that Trespasser will be a primary weapon as well, which in my opinion would make it even more viable. Alright everybody, that does it for this one. When sidearms first introduced in Destiny 1, it took me a while to start using them, but when I did, I was happy that I gave them a chance. Trespasser became one of my most commonly used weapons in Destiny 1's PvP, and I would love for it to return in Destiny 2. Now if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor and thumb wrestle that like button until it turns blue. And if you're new to my neck of the woods, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon so you don't ever miss a video of the most elite gaming content. But with that being stated, 1LHD is over and out. Y'all take it easy.